was a great night. I remember that night vividly because I remember the preparation that we went through for that night. You see, we knew that we was going against the best. I'm not taking no credit from anyone.
Absolutely.
Garifuna legacy, the Garifuna legacy that we had to stand in front of was the most feared, was the most vibrant, powerful band of our times at those times.
Right.
Where they get the power from, they got it from their music, and that's what I loved about that band. I looked up to that band, but we had a real serious competition problem.
Wow.
But it was it wasn't as like how Biggie and Pac did it. Like it was more. It was really more about the music. Like you know, even to the point where niggas would go to the extent of fucking up your sound to just have that edge. You
Right,
feel
right,
me?
right,
And he
right.
wasn't even looking back at it. It looks malicious, but it was just how competitive we was at the times.
Right.
Shout out to Garifuna Legacy too. A lot of them niggas is my niggas for real, for real. I fucks with them. You know what I mean? But it wasn't personal, even though certain situations became personal. You feel me? But that's just what it was. It was competition, and that's something that I feel is missing right now, or people don't want to face
Right.
right now. You know what I mean? Everybody want to be a number one, but in order for you to be a number one, you got to work for it,
You gotta stay sharp.
and you got to show that you got that skill and you sharp enough to stay on top. And that's what the game is kind of missing right now. There's a lot of bands with a lot of edge right now. You feel me? But what are y'all really like doing right now as far as
Right. Valentine's Day party
Mhm.
at the Mega with
That
GNG
party was epic.
alongside Legacy, man.
listen-
Tails wiggling crazy from front to back, and you know that art form has been totally lost of just seeing a whole bunch of people just grooving and dancing, and you know
everybody just want to be accepted
Yeah,
nowadays?
yeah.
Nobody want to bring you. See, we was bringing you originality. That's why our band brought to the table.
Right.
And it's not my band, it was our band.
Absolutely.
You feel me? We collectively, whatever bass lines you ever heard anywhere about a GNG band, right here.
That's real. That's real.
And I stand on that.
Absolutely.
It's not bragging, it's facts. I created all of that. Nobody taught me anything when it came to bass. Everything came from this brain.
Absolutely.
So even my bass line, shout out to my baby bro A. He did my bass lines, but he ain't me. Y'all got what y'all got, which was great.
Right.
But y'all ain't get what y'all supposed to get.
Yeah, and you know what's
All
crazy?
due respects.
A lot of times, bridging the gap with this generation, I'd say that when my pops introduced me to you, he mentioned that you played with GNG. I
Right.
never actually witnessed it because by that time it was already the second generation.
Right.
So when I ended up seeing the video of you actually jamming, I was like, ah,
There he go. That was that guy.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that's fire. So hearing you say that, it's
Mhm.
just, bridging the gap so that people could understand that you were the one that originally was playing the bass for the
Right.
first generation of GNG.
But what you don't know is that it was an honor for me to have met you that day.
That's crazy.
Why?
Likewise, OG,
Because-
likewise, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Likewise, man.
But your pops is a very dear friend of me. You know,
Absolutely.
I respect him a lot.
Mhm.
You know, and he's a private individual.
Right.
So for me to have met you, it was because he really considered me somebody
It's
close
sacred.
as a
It's
friend
sacred.
to him.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's
And I
real.
always respected that about
That's
your brother.
real.
He's an outstanding dude, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me?
That's real.
I can't say
Shout
nothing
out
wrong
to
about
my
that, bro.
pops,
Shout out
man.
to him, Baby
Shout out to
Lou.
Baby
You know
Lou,
what I mean?
man.
And your uncle,
Yeah, shout out to
El
my
Gran
OGs,
Maestro.
too,
You know what I mean?
Shout out to my OGs.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, so once again, driving right back to that party. So
Back to
it
the
was-
party.
Yeah, so that's how I was able to really put that connection. So witnessing that was like a huge moment for me because it was like, wow. A lot of times people was able to when they think of GNG as far as bass playing,
Right.
they recollect Alex,
Alex.
and not you. You know what
And
I'm saying?
I love it. That's
Wow.
my little brother.
Okay.
And when it comes to this music shit, Alex, I know Alex since, man, he was probably about 11, 12 years old. So when we took Alex into the band, it was nothing but love for him. He was our little brother.
Right.
You understand? He picked up quick. He always kept to himself, always just delivered. Anytime that we felt short, he showed us that we wasn't short.
Got you.
So he
Ooh.
earned that spot. Nobody gave him that spot.
He earned it.
We needed him to fulfill that spot, but he really put the work in to get that spot.
Got you.
You feel me? So he worked hard, and we worked hard with him. And the understanding that we developed between Eddie, him, myself, Cosito, and all the guys in the band, Dennis, Omar, Rosemary,
Nalo.
shout out to them.
Right.
That's my brothers and that's my sister.
Right.
Forever, they will always be.
Right.
Whatever happened after that, it's things that happen. There's no love lost.
How old were you in that video?
Had to have been about 19, 20.
Wow, young nigga.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
In 2001?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see.
Google it.
23.
Oh, I was 33, bro? Yeah. I felt 19.
That's crazy. No, that's crazy.
You feel me?
19 in spirit, bro. You look 19, man.
I'm 43 right now, bro.
Yeah, that's
Feel me?
crazy.
God bless, bro.
Thank you, man.
That's
Been around for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool to know that you still here, Earth Strongin', man. That's
Yeah.
lovely. So, could you tell us the details of that night? Like, what was that like for you?
All right, so that night, we had two different sets of equipment in the building. Legacy had their own equipment on one side, and we had our own equipment on the other side. Then we ended up combining the equipment because for some reason we pulling too much power in the place. So we had to join the equipment together and play all out of one equipment.
Wow.
Yeah. Jimmy was there that night too.
Really?
Yes.
That's crazy. Fun fact. Man, R.I.P. to Jimmy Sosa, man.
Mm-hmm.
God bless him.
I remember us getting ready for this party like months in advance.
Wow.
That's how we used to do.
Okay.
You see, that's how we developed that connection. The connection ain't come by itself. We developed that because we used to see each other 3-4 times out of the week, regularly,
Got you.
to practice. Whether it was a full band or it was just the keyboards, the bass, and the singer, we worked with Eddie it's so intense. It was so intense, intensively.
Right.
We worked with Eddie.
Wow.
Because at the time he was lacking a little bit of confidence. He didn't think that he could really do what I knew he could do.
And sorry to cut you off,
Mhm.
but one thing I noticed about that video also is how he was controlling the crowd. His crowd control was just absolutely amazing. Whatever he said, they did. Whatever you guys steered, you guys just followed.
We rehearsed that.
Wow.
We didn't rehearse what he's gonna say, but we rehearsed with that intensity where we was rehearsing.
Just the
Yeah,
momentum of it.
we was vibing. That's
Gotcha.
all what you saw was just the natural vibe that GNG had when GNG was at its full potential. We was confident. We was understanding of what we was doing. We knew what we wanted to do that night. You understand what I'm saying? Like the preparation was serious because we going not against, but we playing alongside. I don't like to use words like that because those are the words that separate us.
Yeah.
And we all together in this. You feel me? So
That's
we
beautiful.
was
I like that correction.
no, definitely.
That's beautiful.
We was playing with these guys, and these guys are at the top of their game. They came in swinging like there was no tomorrow, like that, like we owed them something. But I understood the hunger.
Right.
I don't want to talk about their experiences, but coming from when they was coming from and what they was going through, it was redemption for them.
Right.
And I love that about that band. You understand? So playing alongside of them always was a pleasure, but you knew that you had to be ready.
Absolutely.
You understand? That was simply what it was.
It
It kept you on your P's and Q's, man. You playing alongside Legacy, and here goes that again, shit. But playing alongside Legacy, the best at the time. Not to take anything away from anybody else,
Right.
because they was all great. We was all doing what we was doing at the time. Shout out to everybody that we ever played with. You understand what I'm saying?
And I always say this too. Sorry to cut you off, OG. Contrary to popular belief, you guys were always shouted out in a lot of popular albums too.
Right.
You guys were shouted out in a lot of popular albums.
No, we didn't create bad relationships. What created bad relationships was misunderstandings that we had as musicians. Everybody is competitive.
Gotcha.
Everybody want to be on top.
That's a great way to explain it. That's
Yeah, I mean, it's the only way to look at
That's
it.
well put.
These guys are still people that I see and I say what's up to. They are not my enemy. You understand? I didn't develop enemies from music. I would develop rivalries. Yes, yeah, bro.
Well,
It was what it
well
was.
Well
We
said.
did a lot of things to each other. You know what I mean?
That's
That
fucked up, right?
was irrelevant.
Hmm.
You know, and should have never been a part of the game. But
Hmm.
we left it as what it was, a part of the fucking game.
Absolutely. Just chucked it up to the game. Hmm.
Niggas taking niggas girlfriends and shit like that. It was a part of the game,
A lot of
nigga. A
that.
lot of that. I got my
Oh
own
my God,
experiences,
OG.
right?
Too much of that. Especially, too much of that.
But we ain't gonna talk about that shit. That shit get too deep and people start getting in their feelings.
So the momentum of the crowd and the way you guys was rocking, you guys were jamming that whole night.
That's the energy.
Mm.
That only comes out, like I was telling you. That only comes out when you prepare yourself. You ready. You mentally ready, physically ready, and you just ready to explode. Like we was ready. We was ready 2 weeks before that.
Okay.
A month ago before that. Like we was ready. Like
Yeah, I was
because
ready.
once they told us, once we seen ourselves on the flyer and it says Garifuna Legacy on top, and we was at the bottom, which was cool. You got to know your place in life.
Hmm.
They was it, and I respected that.
Right.
I wasn't going to be played by it. You understand what I'm saying? Because one thing is to have respect, and another one is to just lay down for everybody to walk all over you.
Self-respect.
Self-respect comes
Yeah.
first. Now
Yeah.
I'm a strong believer
Yeah.
of that. I
Yeah.
never lay down for nobody.
Personhood comes first, man. That's
No.
a fact.
So we used to have to fight, but our fight was musical. You understand? Never personal. Not in my book.
Right.
You know, I never let it get to that. Even if, when it got to that, it was never that for me.
Mm.
Even when it got to that, it was never that for me because I'm not bringing that. You
It's a
feel me?
sport. It's a competitive sport.
It
So
was.
It can happen even in basketball.
Mhm.
Niggas
Mhm.
fight.
Mhm.
That's a fact.
We was fighting
Mhm.
on stage
Mhm.
to see who's best that night.
Mm.
A couple of times we came on top.
Couple of times.
A couple of times we came on
I
top.
respect that the admits of the defeat at times if it happened.
They was great a lot of the times.
Wow.
And even when we was great, they was just a little bit greater sometimes. And you got to respect it.
That's real.
You have to respect it.
That's real.
I mean, that's as real as I could keep it to you
That's
right now.
real.
That's as real as I could keep it to you, man.
Fuck.
I mean, yeah, I felt the way at the time, like, oh, this shit is not fair. Like, this shit is fucked up. Why them niggas? Yeah, I thought about it. I ain't gonna sit here and tell you that I didn't dislike them because of, not because of their success, because of certain ways that I didn't appreciate. You feel me? Like, my sound shouldn't be affected. If you great, you're already great. Why
Don't
you?
fuck it up for
Why
the
you?
next man.
Why I gotta feel like you fucking with my shit?
Right, right.
You feel me?
Right.
Whether you did it personally or not, why is my shit being fucked with? And I'm not gonna sit here and say that my shit wasn't fucked with when my shit was fucked with.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it was you, but my shit was fucked with. Your shit wasn't fucked with,
Never.
but my shit was
Yeah.
fucked with. How that happened, bro?
right.
You feel me? But that's just how, and I give it up all to competition. We had our nights, and they had a reason to feel that way though.
The competitive sport.
They had a reason to feel that way because we didn't come with respect. We was trying to be disrespectful about that shit. We were trying to be raw. We trying to be nasty.
Yeah,
We trying to be like them. They gave it up raw and nasty, nigga.
Gritty, that's a fact.
I'm talking about the days when they had Dion with them. You feel me? It was over after that. No matter what they did after that, and they did a whole lot because they had fire. Everybody in that band was nasty.
Absolutely. Wow.
They had their time, you know, and that's who I was up against. So I had to be great. So I practiced a whole lot, tried to polish my craft, and just when I thought I was really at the point where I wanted to be, life happened and GNG said they no longer need my services. So yeah, we had to part ways.
And this is for all of the people that we try to talk about GNG. They take me off nothing, but this is for y'all, alright? Yes, from the heart. Are you ready? Shiba, 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 shiba.